Hi everyone. Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning, Priya.
How are
Can
you
you hear
all?
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi Sunita.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So, how are you guys? Everyone? All good?
Yes, Priya, we are good. How are you?
Yes, I am good. Thank you. Yes, tell me. Okay, we are discussing about API testing and we discussed basics of API testing. Yes, what is API testing? Can we have some answers? Yes,
Yes,
I'm
Priya.
not able to hear you guys.
Yeah, yesterday, do you have class?
No, yesterday was holiday. It was informed day
Okay,
before yesterday. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So we had only one session about API testing. Yes. Now, what is API testing? Can we have some question answers?
Yeah, API is the application programming interface.
Okay. What is application programming interface? No answers. So, application programming
Hello.
interface is the programs, functions that are written. So that is actually the business logic is implemented using these programs. That is nothing but a application programming interface. So there is a program, means there is a code which is implemented or which is implementing some business logic. Okay. And that is API. API is the layer where we implement business logic. So that's why it is called business layer. Where the APIs are available behind the UI. So we have UI, the HTML page that we are able to see. Behind that, there is API. So if you ask, where is the API? Show me. We can't show actually where the APIs are because API is going to be request and response in the format of request and response. So you open any page, the web page will have HTML code. If you right click and inspect and see the code, it's a HTML code. HTML is the starting tag. So it is a HTML code written for this page. This page has some sections, divisions to display the data. But actually, who is displaying the data? APIs are displaying the data. Who is going to give you this data? APIs are going to give the data. If I search particularly some device or anything that I want, this is the request that a user will ask for. So my request is searching for an iPhone. Now, in this, if I search specifically for iPhone 13, the result will be displayed. So that is a request. So as per the request, user will be served with the data. Now, where is this data available? From where APIs are going to show us the data?
From database.
Yes. So the data is available in the database. Now the question is, what is database then? Database is collection of tables where we
Table.
have some tables. Table meaning is what? That
Have
study table that we have in the home? No.
rows and columns with some
So
data.
correct. Table meaning is the table has some rows and columns of data. Now, for example, the table name is customer table. So in the customer table, there will be customer name, address, phone number, the data is stored. Now you have order table. Order table will have order details like what is the amount of order, where it was placed, by which user it was placed. So these are the tables. Now these all table collection is nothing but a database. Database has data. And we have some item table where you have items, list of items by the category that are available in the database. So database is a collection of tables. Now, what is database? If you want to practice on what is database, we'll show you some site. You can have a look at it. So this is a site where you can have a look of the tables for sample. Okay. So there is a customer table. Select star from customer is a SQL query. SQL is structured query language. It's a query language to get the data that is available in the database. Now customer is a table. We are taking the data of customer table. What is the data? Now if you run this query, try it yourself. I will do and run this SQL. So we have some data. This is the data available in the customer table. What is the data available? Customer name, customer contact name, address, city, postcode. These are the these are the rows of data that is available in the database. So database is collection of rows and columns, and database is the collection of tables, like entirely different tables are available. So in this example, I will give you this link. In this example, we have these all tables. Customer table we have, then the categories table. There are some rows, beverages and whatever the C or products categories are available. Now there are employees. Now employees and the first name, last name, orders table is available. So who customer ID, who placed the order, and what is the employee ID, what was the order date, so when it was placed, that is the data available. So like this, we have database. What your database will contain? Tables. What are the tables? These are some of the examples of the tables. Now the database will have a data. Okay, so the site is given in the chat. You can have a look at it. We will also study database in detail. Okay, so for now, you can have a look at it. And for now, you can understand database is where we have the data stored. Okay, some data is stored. What we want for our project, we will create the tables according to the project. Now, if I take an example of Amazon project, the tables will be customer order item. Now, these tables are having set of data. Now, when the data is loaded in these tables, API will take the data from this database. Now, database has these tables. Table is nothing but data. Okay, fine. Now, what is the request that I am sending? Okay, any questions? Guys, be on mute. If you have any questions, you can post it in the chat. Okay, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat. I will take the questions. Okay. So now database has the data available, and in the now what actually APIs do. Before we understand API testing, we will first understand what API will do. API will take the request from the user and give you the data. Like, what is your request? If you are searching for some data, you are searching for mobiles. Okay. So you will get mobiles. If you are searching for any headphones accessories, so you will get the data according to the search. That is a request. So as per your request, you will get the data. So one of the best example to give you to understand what is API is when we go to restaurant, the we order some food. So we order food to the waiter, right? So they will visit your table and ask you for what is your order. And once you request for set of details, once you request for set of food, okay, you ordered suppose biryani. Now you will get the biryani, same order will be served. The waiter is API here. Okay, so you have the request served. Now this is about API. APIs are the core business functionalities that are implemented. API is nothing but a program function that are written. Okay, that is going to take some request, give you some response. So APIs will always communicate in the format of request and response. What is request? Request is what you ask for the data. Response is what is generated. Okay, so they will always be in the format of request and response. Now, why APIs? The question is, next comes the question is why API? Now, APIs are the programs, that is fine, but why we have to learn API or why we have to use API? The reason is APIs can communicate with applications developed in any programming language. It may be Java, PHP, .NET. Okay. So APIs will be able to communicate with applications that are developed in any programming language. Is that an advantage or disadvantage?
Advantage.
Yes, advantage it is. So it is advantage because we have a freedom. Like you can communicate with any application developed in any programming language. Now the question is why we have to communicate with any application which is developed in any programming language, right? Why there is a need? I will use same applications and I will develop a application. Yes, it's your choice. You take a Java application and you use entirely Java and do that, but there will be limitations. If you use one programming language, you will stuck with some limitations. You have to use multiple tools and technologies in order to get the better and better user experience and better features. Okay. Now, one of the best examples of APIs is Google Maps. Now, Google Maps are the APIs developed by Google. Everybody knows Google Map. What it does? It will be it is going to give you the location where you are. It is basically going to give the location and the entire map, okay, directions and related to that, right? Whenever you want to go somewhere, you can use maps with that application. Now, these maps APIs are used in many places. In the Ola, Uber applications, which are to book a ride. Now, whenever we book a ride for any place, your location and the driver location is being taken with your acceptance. Okay, whenever we install those applications, it will access your location also. We say yes, and it automatically takes the location and it will book a ride. Now that are going to be like internally they are calling the Google Map APIs. So those APIs are used for the faster application development. So using Google Maps, Uber, Ola, they are able to build their application in a faster time. Overall, they are going to get a benefit of existing application, and Maps is written in some different programming language. Ola, Uber can also use different programming language, whatever they are okay with or whatever they want to develop. Okay, based on the requirements, they will use as per their need and their choices. Now, the Google Maps are also used in WhatsApp as well, right? We can share a location, we trace a location, or we trace our friends where they are and we go to, right? Everyone knows that we are using Google Maps. Internally, it uses Google Map, right? So you click on that location. When you open, it is going to take you to maps only. So this is what API's advantage is. Any application can access or can communicate with any other application. And with that request and response format, APIs are able to communicate with each other. Now, with this advantage of APIs are becoming very famous. Now, every project is using APIs or they're selling APIs. Okay. Now, we will take a look at what APIs are, what are the types, how they communicate. Okay. Is this all clear to all of you guys? The basic details about APIs?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now APIs communicate in the format of request and response. That is nothing but a data transfer. APIs communicate between two applications with the data transfer. That data transfer is done using two programming languages. The two famous languages used for data transfer are XML and JSON. And APIs are using XML or JSON. Based on that, there are types. So there are two types of APIs we have. REST API, which is representational state transfer. And next is simple object access protocol, which is SOAP. Now SOAP is the API which uses XML format only. Now what is the XML format? We will see now. Okay. And REST uses XML, JSON, plain text, HTML, all these formats. Okay, JSON uses all these formats. Okay, REST uses all these formats. And SOAP uses only XML format. Now we will have a discussion about what is REST and SOAP, the difference is. Okay. REST and SOAP, what is the difference? We get this interview question. REST are simple, faster to develop. Okay. What is REST? REST are simple, faster. SOAP are complex. REST is simple to develop, faster to develop. Now, whatever is simple will be used mostly. Yes, whatever is simple, whatever is done fast, people use it most. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So, REST is used everywhere. Nowadays, every project API will be REST. So, it is mostly used. REST is the very common type of API which is used. Okay. Now, why it is used? Because it is simple and faster in the development. Okay. And it supports multiple formats also. So it supports all the XML, JSON, plain text, HTML format. Now, only disadvantage with REST is it is less secure. It is also secure. It doesn't mean that anybody can use your APIs. No, it is secure, but less secure as compared to the SOAP. SOAP is very secure, like to very high level, there is a security. It is much more secure. Now, very secure, less secure, where I need to use very secure application or where I have to use SOAP or REST, it is based on the need. Like if you are developing a bank application or any application where the security of your data is very high. Obviously, in the banks, wherever you have a bank and you are dealing with money, you need a lot of security because lot of security threats can be there. Like people are able to, or people will try to hack. Somewhere they will try to crack also. Okay, your APIs, they can change anything and update anything. So maybe people are able to update any amounts in the bank. It is entirely a invalid access. Okay, so we need to have a lot of security for our bank accounts. So banking applications will need lot of security. So they use SOAP applications like SOAP APIs, where the lot of security is needed, where the banks you are accessing. Okay, people, some banks will store the data to some banks also, like for example RBI, the government banks, where you have data of governments and also the other bank data. Okay, some other small banks data and everything. So now you have to have a security of very high level. Okay, the next level security is required. Those applications will use SOAP. Other than these, the Amazon or any other online shopping platforms, you need a security. But your account, even if somebody hacks it, they don't have any information. They have maybe your product purchase history. People can't do anything much with the data, that whatever your purchase history is. It is also not easy to access it, but not to that level of security is required, because people will not try to hack it also. Okay. Now, all the applications can both REST and SOAP be used in same business application. Okay. People can use, it's based on the architecture. Okay. People can use both also. People will use only REST also, because APIs can communicate with any programming language. Now, if you have REST APIs, entire project will be on the REST APIs. But still, I have seen some projects has REST and SOAP, both the type of APIs. Okay. People can have both also. Now, in the Amazon or in any platforms where, like we have Facebook or other applications where we have data, but it is not, it is security is needed, but not to that extent. So those applications are using REST APIs. So most of the online shopping platforms will use REST APIs. Most of the other social media platforms are using REST APIs. Most of the applications you see in the day-to-day life or any small applications, they are using REST because it is simple, faster, and easier to develop, use, implement. Okay. And it uses all the format of data. Now, the question comes how these APIs are being tested. Now, okay, these are the types. Now, the question is what is XML and what is JSON? Okay. So, I will write some XML JSON format of data. We will try to understand what is format of data that is used in the API testing. So, before we actually start with API testing, we will learn about what is XML. So, I'll write a code for some. Okay, I will give you one example for a XML. For example, I have one user. Okay, user one I have, and the first name is, I will take Srita. Okay, and last name. Okay, last name, for example, I'll take some ABC. Okay. This is the user data. Now, how it is written in the XML format? Let me show. So XML, everything in XML is a tag. Okay. So everything in XML is a tag. So there will be a user tag. There will be a closing user tag. Tag and closing user tag. In between, there is a user and it has a first name, right? First name, and there will be a first name closing tag. So each tag will have a closing tag. Closing tag will have a slash. Okay. So like this, there will be last name also. It is last name. Okay. Whatever your data is, you will write it here. So Asrita is the name and some ABC is the last name. So this is the XML data. Able to understand XML data?
Yes.
So very simple. A user is you have. Okay, and the first name is Ashrita, last name is ABC, and first name is closed. Last name is ABC and last name closed. And user closed means user data is done. This is one user data. So also to elaborate, there will be space ID equals to 1. Okay, so ID is attribute where user 1 is ID 1. This is one user data. There is a second user, ID is 2, and for user 2, name is Monica. Okay, and last name is Davu. Okay, able to read the data of user. Now there is a user 3. For example, we have a user 3. User 3 ID will be 3 and user 3 is Neha. Okay, Muzammar. Fine. So this is the user data in the XML format. Able to understand XML format?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is a data transfer. Data transfer meaning is there is a data. Obviously, so this is a format of data, how it is stored. So first name tag will store the first name. These are the tags. Okay, and this is the syntax of writing the tags. Less than and greater than symbol. Inside that you have to write a tag name. Okay. Okay, just a minute, guys. Okay, you can make a note of this XML format of data. The same data I will write in the JSON. So you can understand what is the difference between JSON and XML. Okay, are we good to write in the JSON format same data?
Yes, ma'am.
In the XML, where we are closing the user, it should
Mhm.
be like user ID equal to 1 also while
No, not
closing.
required.
Or
This ID is
okay.
an attribute. Okay, so user is a tag. So we gave space, meaning is its attribute. ID is not required. So whatever user 1 or 2 you have, user is ending. Now next user started. Then that also ending. Next user started, this also going to end. Okay, so not to create a confusion, I will remove this. IDs are, it is little advanced. Now just consider that there are 3 users. User, user, user. Okay, there is no differentiation between whatever the users are. We have 3 users and this is how we write a data. Okay, user tag is started, user tag is ending. Okay, so this is the data. Not to confuse, remove the ID for now. Okay, do not worry about ID. So user we have and the closing tag for a user. Fine. Now I will write JSON here for a understanding. What is JSON? JSON is JavaScript object notation. So it's a JavaScript based. So if you know JavaScript, you will understand. Even if you don't know, not to worry, we will write it. Okay. XML is extensible markup language. We have seen that JSON is JavaScript object notation. XML is extensible markup language. Okay. So this is XML JSON. Fine. Okay, I will give you time to note as well if you want. Now I am writing the user. So this is a user and there is a bracket. Okay. In this, there will be first name and colon and double quotes Ashrita. Okay. Then we have a comma. Then the tag is, then the, in JSON, it is called parameter. Okay. Now the next parameter is last name. Okay. We take a space, so we can take a space also. Okay. These are, parameters are nothing but variables. Okay. So not recommended to have a space. I will not take ABC. Now this is one user. User is done. One more comma. And for this, what is the first name? Monica. Okay. And last name is, able to understand, guys? Next semicolon, next comma is not required. So comma is if you have a next parameter. Otherwise not needed. Okay. So like this, so on goes on. Okay. Like this, if you have one more user, it will be Neha for a next user. Okay. Muzumdar. Okay. Fine. Now this is a data. Now I will write what it is called as well. Okay. So we'll take, this is called parameter. What is it? Parameter. We have to know this. If you are testing and you are saying developer that the parameter are incorrect, parameters are missing, or if somebody is communicating in this format, okay, and they are asking, okay, what are the parameters, or parameters you have to change and you have to test. Parameters you have to change, meaning is the data we have to change. In place of Ashrita, I will add some different name and test with. Okay. So what is parameter? What is the value? We should know. We should know the names of each. So this is nothing but a value. Okay. So people will not say that first name, last name. It may be first name, last name for a user. But if you have an order, for an order JSON, you will have order amount, order ID, order date, order cost. Okay. Those are different parameters. You can have values will be according to the parameters. Now the parameter is first name value is Ashrita. Like this. Okay. Now these are called in the XML, what it is called as those are called as tags. Okay, so we will not take the space actually here also. Okay, so what we will do is not needed to have the space so that we understand it very well. Okay. Fine. Now here, what is a tag? User is the tag, first name is a tag, last name is a tag. This is a tag. And what is this? This is a closing tag. This first name is closing tag. Okay, each tag will have a closing tag. User is having closing tag and closing tag will have a slash. Okay. So this is XML and JSON format. Make a note of it. We are going to use this format. We are going to see this format in the API testing lot many times. You should be able to create the data in this format. Okay. Clear? Is it clear? Can we take some examples on this?
Yes.
Done making note. You want a time? Fine. So let us take an example of order. Now I have a order. Order has order ID, for example. Okay. It has order ID. Then we have items, total number of items. Okay. Items count I will write. So in order, we already, like we generally have 2 items or 4 items. Some item count will be total item count. Total cost. Okay. These are the order ID, item count and total cost. These are the parameters that we have. So I will write XML, or can you guys write? Order will be tag, then closing tag, order you can take, order ID, then assume some order ID 1, 2, 3, 4, closing the order ID. Can you write it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Try it. Item count, you can assume 2, 3 as a item count, total cost $100, $200, like that we can assume. So create some 2 orders, assuming some data. Okay. So if you want, you can take your look at your Amazon or any shopping platform orders. You can go to it and take a order ID or some number you write or item count. How many items you ordered? Okay, 5, 10, 20 or 3, 2. Then what was the cost? You can write it so that we understand where it is used. So all the shopping platforms, wherever we are placing order, we will have order table. These are the APIs. Now order ID, this API will take the order ID and item count and total cost. Then it will call a payment API. Then the payment is done. and offers are applied on the total cost. Then as per that, deductions will happen. If everything is correct, then the deduction will happen in the payment gateway. So that again is a payment API. Okay. Okay, done. So I have some answers, order ID, some order. Okay, bags. Okay, again a bracket is not required, Neha. So do we have a bracket here, less than, greater than? 1, 2, 3 data is without a bracket. Okay. Yes. Okay, I will write it. Have a look at it. So it's a order. First tag is. Now in this order, I have some tags. Order ID. ID I'll consider 1, 2, 3, 4, some number. Slash order ID closing tag. Okay. So now next is item cost. Item count it is. Okay. Items count it is. As it is, I will write. Here also items count. Next is total cost. These are for a function, these are going to be parameters. So naming conventions to follow. Item cost is total cost is $200, for example. And there will be closing total cost. This is going to close a one order. It is going to close a one order. So this is my one set of order. Now like this, I am creating two orders. Next order will have a different ID because it will be something different. I'll take some different number. Okay, item count. Why did we take this? I'll take 8 as a item count. Here I'll take 5 as a item count. Okay. Total cost is here I'll take $250. Okay. Done.
Can dollar sign also?
Yes, it's okay. We can put also, we can skip also. Okay. So generally not to put because they are going to calculate based on the logic. Okay. That will vary. So dollar symbol for understanding, I am writing. Okay. You can put also, it's fine. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So we don't need to put the currency, right?
Yeah, no need to put the currency.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay. It depends on what developer writes the code, right?
Yes, it depends on what we are like ordering
Like
because
yeah,
the place
depends
also
upon
you are
state.
in which
Yeah.
country. Yeah. Maybe people are from
So
USA or
just we need
Canada.
to write the number.
Yeah, for now we don't need to go to that technical level details. We can put
Mhm.
also, it's fine. Okay,
Okay.
APIs can have those dollar symbols also. Okay, it is fine. Because how it is going to be converted, it is again a business logic.
Okay.
And dollar rates will change also on the day-to-day basis. So it will be all some calculative always. Okay.
Okay. Hi.
Okay, can we write same data for in the format of JSON? Can you guys write?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, try it in the JSON format. Now you will be able to write. You have one format of data. So it is not, we are not going to do it, this conversion of data from XML to JSON in the API testing. Okay. Now we are just learning what are the formats. XML, how it is written, how JSON is written. We are going to test JSON APIs differently, XML APIs differently. Meaning is SOAP API different, REST APIs differently. Do not club it, but for understanding what is these two differences between these two programming languages. The same data is written in two formats so that we get a clarity how they are written. But converting them into JSON is not the job. Okay, it is for understanding. Okay, clear? Most of the time we are going to use JSON format only. We do not need a XML format. XML format is used very less because it is in the SOAP format of APIs, SOAP APIs. Majorly, we are going to use JSON. Majorly, we will come across API testing using JSON. And in your experience also, you have to explain that I used or I tested REST APIs using JSON because it is simple. Okay. So now we will write in the JSON format. I will write it in the JSON. What is the JSON? We write, it's a order. We'll take the curly brackets. Order ID is a parameter. Okay. Then we have, so some ID 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, comma. I'll take a same data. For example, 292992, comma. Then we have a parameter items count, colon, double quotes, item count is 8, comma, not semicolon, comma. Then again we have a parameter total cost. Closing bracket, comma, opening bracket. Next order ID is 3 here. Item count is 5 here. Total cost is 250. Okay. Yes, you have to create a data in the JSON, or we should be able to understand what is the JSON value, what are the parameters and what parameter is carrying which value. Now order ID has some value. Now I am testing this API with this order ID. Next time we are going to pass a different ID because we cannot pass the same ID again and again. We cannot pass same data for testing again and again. We have to change the data. Now sometimes we test with some valid data, sometimes we have to test with invalid data. That is API testing. So test data creation for API testing will be done by this. If you understand this, you will be able to create a test data for API testing. Okay. What is test data? Test data is the data required for the testing. So we will be creating the test data. People will give us a format, like developers will give you the format. This is the format of API data, request data, and you have to test. Now in every testing, we have to change this order ID, change the different values and do the testing and check that API's response, how they are responding. Okay. Yes, able to understand?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Everyone fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, so very good. Now I will give you one assignment. Okay. Okay. For example, we have some APIs. We'll take. Okay. So we'll take some discount. Okay. There will be, for a coupons, there are discounts. Okay. Consider that there is offers. Okay. Now there is a offer and we will take for a offer with the name. Okay. Offer name is something ABC 20. So it has 20% off. Okay. Now with offer name, some ABC 10, 10% off. Okay. It will be very simple, very small, but okay, fine. Okay. Discounts with payment we will take. Okay. And there is a payment. We'll take a total payment. Okay. So what is the total payment? What is the offer name which is applied? And based on that, 20% offer is applied. So this will be your final offer. Okay. Assuming some different values for offer name, we will give the final offer. Okay. So I will create a JSON for this. It's a payment. Okay. In this, what we need. Okay. Your job is not to create a JSON. Just changing the values is our job. Okay. Now the parameter here is total payment. Now whatever is your total payment. So if you have a values which are integer values, so double quotes are not required. Okay. So if your values are integer, then double quotes are not required. IDs are string, not a integer. So IDs will be in the double quotes. The count can be integer, cost can be integer. So it is without double quotes. Okay. Final payment is some $200. Now I have a offer which is applied. Offer name, which is some ABC 20. So we'll take a comma after this. We'll take a comma after this. After the double quote. Then you have a final price after the final offer, which is applied. Okay, which is again an integer, so 20%. So like this, create some more payment JSON. Okay, create more. You have to just change the values for the total payment, offer name, and final offer. In the testing also, we are going to get the entire JSON structure. You will get the parameters. Now the changing values of parameter is the job. You have to understand what is the data. So it is a total payment. It will be in what range? What is a valid? What is the invalid range for it? Offer name. What are a valid values? What are a invalid values for it? That we have to understand and do the testing. So API testing, most tricky part is understanding the API. Otherwise, testing is very simple. If you can understand, you can test it. Only understanding will take time in the API testing, not the testing. Okay. Yes, able to understand?
Yes, Priya.
Fine. Okay. So we'll continue on Monday, guys. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Priya. Have a good day.
Thank you, Priya. You too. Good night. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Good night, Priya.